Yoo-hoo, and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Well, I think our fun's just about to begin.
This week we're looking at 1 hour and 24 minutes of David L. Hewitt pure torture. Same director of some of the worst motion pictures I've had the displeasure of watching, like The Wizard of Mars and The Girls from Thunderstrip. Seriously, I don't doubt the guy had many individual qualities, but he should never have laid his hands on a camera. Unfortunately, he did that several times, and which is why he created the crime against humanity that is the Mighty Gorga. And it's a mighty horrible piece of shit.
Think I'm getting a little old for this.
But before we get going, please like this video, subscribe, and recommend me a bad movie down in the comments. And please consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is in the description down below.
Huh. Boy, I wouldn't be too sure about that.
We follow two brothers who run a circus which is on the verge of bankruptcy.
There isn't much to laugh about when you know you don't have a paycheck coming.
Unwilling to sell their business to the competitor, one of the brothers hooks up with a guy he knows in Central Africa, who's heard stories of an oversized gorilla, which could be perfect for their new sensational circus attraction.
Father was on safari, and he found this native half dead in a canoe wedged among some trees. However, he told Father the story of a legendary ape god and the lost tribe that worshipped him.
Why, that's all the proof I need. Spend the rest of my life savings on a safari in Africa to track down a legendary giant ape, which may very well not even exist. And so he flies over to the Congo and seeks out the mythical beast which could make him rich, leaving behind a trace of chemtrails of God knows what. I'm not gonna lie though, Africa looks a lot more like California and Bronson Canyon to me. With this lady, he encounters an Amazon tribe, which somehow found its way into the heart of the African tropical jungle. Seriously, who are they fooling? Did the producers even check up what Central African people looked like before making this movie? Because it sure as shit doesn't seem like it. In fact, the actor playing the witch doctor is the exact same guy playing the clown at the beginning. Unbelievable.
But you know what? It's gonna get worse.
I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the exact same thing you're thinking.
What's on your mind, Shy?
This is King Kong, and anyone who says otherwise must be blind. I honestly don't know if this is a passionate homage to the 1933 adventure classic or a terribly cheap knockoff attempting to cash in on some box office money off a more famous title. I have a hunch it's the second option.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
In fact, I'm surprised this didn't get the original director of King Kong, Marion Cooper's lawyer, on the phone for this. Whether it's the remote jungle location, a tribe sacrificing women to a giant ape, dinosaurs appearing, it's all there.
Now my problem begins. How am I gonna get that Hulk back to civilization?
Yeah, didn't really think that one through. On Wikipedia, it says this movie is notorious for its poor special effects. No, you don't say.
Well, I won't argue with that.
Indeed, the Mighty Gorga is just director Hewitt himself rambling around in a clunky gorilla suit. His face barely even moves, giving us that same blank, dumb stare during the whole film. It was even too cheap to have Gorga grab his victims and eat them, or throwing them halfway across the jungle. All it does is just stomp around, pound its chest sometimes, and make a bunch of monkey noises.
I'm not throwing my life away, George.
And it's not like the movie was aiming at creating some suspense surrounding Gorga. No, his goofy face is shown right from the start, so that the whole audience knows what it's in for, and have an opportunity to leave the theater. The only special effects that look even worse is when the protagonists are attacked by a toy dinosaur, which briefly shows up near the end. How did anyone take a look at that and thought it looked good, or even passable? In fact, there's also a clip of a dragon inside a cave for some reason, which was borrowed from another movie, Goliath and the Dragon. I knew this looked too good to be true.
You know how it is.
The painfully awful special effects aren't the only problem plaguing this film though. Another big issue is the sound mixing and the music score. It's hard to understand what the actors are saying because the quality of the audio isn't very good, and what is supposed to be the background music is louder than the actors' lines. Also, the score just stops all of a sudden at very random moments. The Mighty Gorga may very well be the worst giant ape movie ever made. Honestly, it falls to an amateurish level I've rarely ever seen. I didn't even think it was possible to go that low.
Is that all?
And yet, here we are. We aren't even halfway through 2025, but I can already tell this is going to be one of the worst films I'll have reviewed during the whole year. So yeah, what an awful movie.
Hey, take it easy.
Stop, stop! It's Father!
Hey, drop.